Live. Welcome everyone to the 66th episode of Playtest This, featuring Matthew Kombic's Yard Pawtrol. Um, is that the correct way to say it with a question mark at the end? Yard Pawtrol, formerly Architects, now it's Yard Pawtrol. And we've seen the Krill game on here before, right?
No,
No,
never.
okay, all right. Well, I've also played some other games from Matthew. And he's in one of my design groups, so it's great to have him on. And then, of course, we have our distinguished panel member, Sasha Gelton. Please introduce yourself, Sasha.
Hello, my name is Sasha Jelton. I'm a designer in Portland, Oregon. I teach board game design to middle schoolers and elementary school kids. I also run Playtest PX, a Portland design sort of meetup group. Yeah, I love design. I love playtesting, and that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Thanks for joining.
Thanks.
Matthew, tell the kids at home who you are.
Well, you already gave him the secret. My name is Matt Kambic. Been working on this game probably about 8 months to a year. Yard Patrol. I used to want to call it Barkitects, but had some new direction I was given, so changed the name. It's kind of a tower defense game I've been working on. And also in May, probably at the end of May, I'm looking to kickstart my first game. That's the License to Krill Evan mentioned. And you can find more information about it on krillgame.com.
And I was listening to Ludology the other day, and they were talking about toyetic games, and I just couldn't stop thinking about your little plush whale. Because, yeah, is that still the plan where the game
Oh,
comes
yeah.
like in the whale
Oh,
plushie?
it wouldn't be the same game without it. You
Yeah,
got it.
yeah. So I just kept thinking about, and then you use that in the game to move around. Anyway,
Yeah, I
um,
mean, for the folks at home, they don't
yeah,
need to.
yeah, exactly. The game comes in that, and it's a piece that moves around. Okay, anyway,
And it's really funny too. People are like, "Where's the discard pile?" They're looking on the table. I'm like,
right there, people.
"Yeah,
Um, cool. I am Evan Halbert. You might know me from such games as After the Empire. You should go copy. You should go buy copies. Maybe like 60, 61 of them. I forget what I'm up to now. And eventually we will have an expansion for that coming out. And then I've got like 3 or 4 or 5 or something games coming out over the next few years. And you should buy many copies of all of those as well. Um, cool. Let's learn about Yard Patrol. Give us the
well,
teach.
for sure, great. Thanks for coming." As you mentioned, this is Yard Patrol, where we are the dogs in the yard, and we are overly protective of our yard, and we try to scare away the intruders that would want to dare to enter our yard. As you see on the board, the middle green area is kind of the communal city area, and the road facilitates the access to the front yard. So the intruders will come like this on the blue path, and these two intruders, one with 1 hit point and one with 2 hit points, representing the way the dog sees it. So you can see it's a little bit of a mutant butterfly and a mutant squirrel. That's kind of through doggo vision there. And they look at the intruders, and maybe this one comes here, and there's nothing there to persuade it otherwise, and it keeps moving down the blue path all the way until it reaches the end and reaches the dreaded front door. That's what the dog is trying his best to protect against. So it's kind of like a tower defense in that you don't want the intruders to be able to reach the end of the path. To persuade them not to reach the end of the path, we have an array of dog abilities akin to what a dog would have, the tools of the trade. So for example, we have a doggy landmine. So if the green player decided to build the doggy landmine right there, this would do 3 damage, as you see the 3 sword on it, to whichever intruder interacts with it first. So if the butterfly interacts with it first, it would do 3 damage, and you see the butterfly only has 1 hit power, which would fully resolve the butterfly, and whichever player did the final and finishing blow would get all the 1 victory point. You can't split one anyways, but it matters when there are 2 and 3 victory points. It's an all or none. So the green player would get the 1 victory point. They would advance up the track, and I'll look at the track in a second. And this comes not only off the board, but also out of the game because it has a 1x on it. So there's a little player cheat sheet card you've got in your player, behind your player screen. And this would show you all the doggy base defenses or persuasion that I'll be mentioning. So there's only 5 of them. So that's the doggy landmine, or the poop, as most people like to call it. It's one-time use, which means you start with 5 for the whole game. You never get more. They don't refresh. But all the other tiles refresh. So instead of the doggy landmine, you could have, for example, done the doggy bark surprise like this. And you can see in the direction of the arrow, I was careful when I placed it. So I place it face down, and then I resolve it by flipping and revealing it to the players. Uh-oh, the blue player is thinking, my squirrel is actually going to interact with this, and now it's going to become green's problem, and this comes off the board. So green can voluntarily scare monsters into his yard and also voluntarily scare monsters out of his yard. So just because the monster or intruder does not start on a particular path does not mean they will end on that same path. So it could be multiple scare surprises in a single direction or multiple directions. So there's a little bit of chaos in the sense that you know where it will start, but you don't always predictably know where it will end up. So in this case, the green tile scared the 2 hit point squirrel over into the green yard. This comes off because it was interacted with. And then the squirrel keeps going down all the way, and now green would have lost one of his defense points because he, didn't think it through perhaps well enough. Or maybe green had some base defenses at the end of his path, but in the order of play, it happened that they were interacted with and removed. And then by the time blue went, he hadn't thought, uh-oh. And now the one he stole away from the blue player ended up getting him in the end. It wasn't as optimal a play as he originally thought. One unique thing, if you've played a tower defense, that you would want to take note is that the monster does not go 1 space and then end the turn, and then it's the next person's turn, and he goes 1 space. No, that's not how they do it here. They fully resolve as soon as they spawn to either reach the end or their hit power reaches 0. So they will not be any holdovers. There will not be any monsters left on the path in between rounds. With every round, the whole board will be clear of any intruders. There may be leftover base defenses that were not interacted with from the previous round, but everything is fully resolved when it spawns to either award victory points or subtract them depending on how far down the path they may or may not make it. And that was the bark surprise. So just keep in mind you have 2 of those. This is the hole. There's only a couple more base defenses and we'll be at the end. He dug a hole and he finds treasures in his hole. So you can think of it like a gold mine in the traditional tower defense sense. If you put this towards the end of your path and a monster does not interact with it, you will get an extra build action the following round. So you can build more defenses the following round. So it boosts your income. However, if a monster does interact with it, it will stop and halt. That's what the little hand is for. And it will flip back over and it will respawn on the path in which it was halted. So if it was the green path, it will come back here. And the next round, it will spawn in addition to the monsters on the green path. So it doesn't go away, but it does get kicked to the next round back into the center area. So you kind of want to build these in somewhere where they won't get interacted with. It doesn't have to be your own path. It could be someone else's path. Maybe they have a wall of base defenses. We'll hide it behind their wall, and then they'll be ineffectively protecting your base defense from getting interacted with. And you can also think of it as a safety net. If you're looking at a round and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to survive this, you could always just stick 2 of these at the end of your path, and most cases they'll be there to rescue you in case something were to reach the end. It would not reach the end. It would reach the hole and get stuck, and this would get interacted with and would come off. Then there's only 2 more. These are the combo ones. So they work something like this. If you build this one doggy defense here, it's when it likes to get a running start. It just 1 damage, nothing special. But what's special is when it's adjacent paw to paw. So you can see the 2 paw prints are now adjacent to each other. It does an extra bonus damage for every paw adjacency. So this would not count if I put it like this. because this paw and there's no adjacent paw to touch it. So the paws do have to line up and touch hex to hex on the flat side. In this case, this one does a 1 and this one does a 1. So just watch that if you want the bonus that you somehow orient them and rotate them so that the paws do give the bonus. And therefore the monster again, this butterfly would dare interact here. He's going to get hit for 2 damage instead of the normal 1 because that is adjacent. This comes off, and now this paw is left with just a 1 because now there's nothing adjacent and maybe it's left over from the last round and you could still build on it the following round to continue the bonus. And you could rotate it again in the future rounds, so it's not stuck. You could rotate it. Maybe you want to build in this direction. That'd be fine, but you can't move it. Once placed, it will sit until it's interacted with. And then there's one final defense, and that'll be it. And that is the water. You cannot build a puddle without a hose. Of course, how did the water get there? It's not yellow puddle, it's a blue puddle. So in this case, you would build the hose first. And it does 1 damage, very simple, plain Jane base defense, but it unlocks the ability to build a puddle adjacent to it. So I could build the puddle here. I could build the puddle here and rotate this like this if I wanted. So it kind of builds like a clover leaf. So it usually is built in tandem with 1 or up to 2 other puddles. But you can't build 3 puddles adjacent to a single hose. It's only facing in one direction. Therefore, the little water symbol wouldn't line up. So those are the 5 base defenses. Did you have any questions on any of those? All right.
Not quite
Right.
yet. I feel like I need to, once I know a little bit more, then I
Sure.
will click more.
Okay. So what I'm going to do to start us off, oops, I'm going to take one of these for us. So I'm going to take all of the 1 victory point monsters and dump them in the bag, shuffle the bag, and then in no particular order, I'm going to spawn them out for each of our paths. Just because they land on the circle I have them doesn't mean they have to enter the path. So you do have freedom and flexibility when you start your turn. You see, let's say you're the blue player, you see 2 monsters or intruders ready to come down your path. When it's your turn, you can resolve the rabbit first if you want, or you can resolve the squirrel first, and you get to pick the path. So the rabbit could come out the second path, and the squirrel could come out the second path, or they could both come out the first path, or one could come out one path. It's your flexible choice. And that way players can't really block the spawn point quite as effectively because remember, anytime they get interacted with, the tile that gets interacted comes off the board. And plus you have the choice of one of the 2 paths. So sometimes someone might try to snipe your rabbit, let's say. It's got 3 health. So someone like green might come in and put this here. So you do not have to choose to snipe the rabbit first. Maybe you choose, it's not as efficient to play to hit for 3 damage. You only had 2. And then maybe that comes off. And then maybe the rabbit, because of his larger hit point pool, maybe that does actually survive. So it can matter the order in which they're resolved, but that is the choice of the player for which color they are spawned. And as the game ramps up, there will be more and more difficult monsters, and they'll even have special abilities, and I'll explain all of those when we get to that point. But for now, it has a slow ramp, and they just have the plain, no special abilities, just 1, 2, or 3 hit points. So you'll see on the right-hand side of TTS, the little round phase, we're going to build the bag. I just did that. We're going to spawn the monsters. I just did that. We're going to build 1 at a time. So maybe Sasha gets 1 turn, then I get 1 turn, then Evan gets 1 turn, and we'll go back to Sasha for 1 turn. We'll build 3 base defenses in total. And then after we're all done building 3 base defenses, then we'll check for bonuses. There won't be any bonuses on round 1, so that'll be it, just the 3. And then we'll resolve the monsters down the path to see what would happen to these monsters. If they make it to the end, you go -1 on the track. If they get destroyed or scared away, then you get +1 because these are all worth 1 victory point at the moment. And you'll notice that there are 3 players at the moment to the table, and there is the red player for which no one is there. So what I'm going to do is I will still spawn the monsters down the red path, and whoever is the current alpha dog, the start player would be able to choose the resolution as if they were the red player, but just remember that the empty slot always goes last. So let's say it's Evan's turn. Yellow would go first, and then we will go over to Sasha clockwise, and then we'll go to me, and then always red is last. And if Sasha was first, red would still go last. And if I go first, red would always go last. But the player for whose turn it is would get to choose red as if they were the red player. It won't matter too much to resolution, but you'll see in later rounds it could matter a little bit. So consider wisely if you want to steal anything from the red player. It's a free lane, build in it if you want, and or scare something off the red lane into your lane, or scare something off of your lane into the red lane, vice versa. So sometimes the players really go for that extra player. If the monsters reach the end of the empty player, nothing happens to the red player. So he can get hit with all the monsters, and in fact, I'll take him off the little tracker because he's out of the game. Okay, with that, unless there's any questions, whoever last pet a dog would normally be the alpha dog and go first. Has anyone pet a dog recently or touched a dog? Do you have a dog?
Not super recently.
Not very recently. It's been, I think it's been a few days, a couple days.
Couple days.
I think
it's newer than me.
I think it's been more than a week for me.
All right. Well, then I will go first.
Okay. 1 second. Let me change my seat. Right now, I'm on the admin, which I can see everyone, so I would have an unfair advantage.
I didn't take my pee and water break, so I need to do that anyway.
Yeah, and I guess where my questions are. So, are all of our tiles played face down?
They're all played face down, and then when we get to phase E on the little tracker on the right of the screen, we will flip them and rotate them. So you don't have to worry about the rotational orientation. When you place it, you're just locking it into a location. Yeah.
Got it. And what happens when something reaches your front door?
You'll go -1 or backwards once on the track.
This track.
Yeah. So let's say in this round you destroy or scare away 2 intruders. You'll go up twice, and 1 made it through and reached your front door. You'll go back once, so it was a net of 1.
Got it.
Okay, so am I first? Is that what you said?
You're first, and I'm just gonna make a quick change here.
Sure.
I'm gonna say on round 1 that we get 4 build actions instead of 3, but only on round 1. All subsequent rounds, it'll be 3 plus bonus.
Okay. And what is build bag?
That was put the monsters in the bag, shuffle it, and then spawn them out rotationally around the board. So there's a little bit of asymmetry in the spawn, but that doesn't really matter because you could be killing mine and I could be killing yours.
Okay.
So you could build anywhere on any path. It does not have to match your
one thing.
And face down. Maybe I didn't mention that.
Okay.
So I clarified that with Sasha while you were away. But
yeah, you don't know what I'm doing. There we go.
What could that be?
I don't know.
Okay, and then we'll just rotate clockwise. So then it would be Sasha's turn to build one. And I'm noticing that I cannot see the green player's items here. Let me try and sit back down.
Yeah, it looks like there's a black.
Oh, maybe the color got changed. Yeah, I'll have to fix that. 1 second.
Wrong player.
There
we go. There we go.
Nice and fixed. Okay, so yeah, you'll want to flip it before it comes out of your screen and then place it face down somewhere.
Let's go. And so it's only the poops that get removed for good?
It's only the poops that get removed. Everything else, and maybe I didn't mention this, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. All the other tiles that do get interacted with in round 1 will sit in front of your player blind for a 1-turn cooldown. So you cannot use any one tile 2 turns back to back if it's interacted with. It would have to cool down for 1 turn, kind of like Obsession.
Got it. I haven't played yet, but I'm interested in playing at some point.
What, Obsession?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you might like it, man.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not into the Jane Austen theme. My wife is, but like some of the guests you get, they have kind of cool pictures and backstory, and you're just like, You're like asking the mistress, you're like, please dismiss this guest because they bring me
Yeah.
a -1 victory point. And,
Yeah.
well, who let this person in the
They're
house? Like,
bringing
really?
dishonor into our home.
Yeah, yeah. Like the town gossip, for
The
example.
rapscallion.
Right on the red path. I like it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to build
Oh.
here.
So who's controlling these again? It's going to be Evan.
So since Evan is the alpha dog, he will be controlling red last. He will get to choose
Got
the
it.
2 butterflies. So he could spawn both butterflies here, one at a time, or one here, and it'll make sense when he goes to do it.
Mhm.
And it probably won't matter. One victory, 1 hit point. They're not going to last very long. The first hits will surely finish them off. Okay, so I've built as well. Back to you, Evan.
My turn. I am going to take one of these suckers, and it's gonna go. Right here.
I think I know what that is.
You have no
It's only a
idea.
guess.
You know nothing. Actually, I lied. It's gonna go right here.
Okay.
That's what you get.
Do you want me to tell you what I think it is?
Nope.
Okay.
Because then you'll look at my face and you'll be able to tell if you're right or not.
Oh, I don't have the screen up with our. There we go. I pulled
Okay.
it back up.
How dare you?
I didn't turn on my
But
second
you
monitor.
said we're
so-
doing 4?
We'll be doing 4 in round 1 only. Yep.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
And back to you, Evan.
Okay. We are gonna do. Oh. This thing. We're doing 4?
So this will be a second to last build this turn. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Then it's your last one.
When do these get revealed?
So once we're done placing them, then we'll do check for the bonus builds. There won't be any, and then we'll flip simultaneously and rotate in any orientation, but we won't move once they've been placed.
Okay.
Okay, back to. What's your tagline mean, Sasha?
Which one?
Hard like Deckard?
Yeah,
It was his
I
fourth
mean,
name.
it's there are 2 Deckards that are hard and like could be hardcore. You can interpret it a couple different ways, but yeah.
Deckard Cain.
Deckard Cain was the one that was the original inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
but also
Then there was old Winston Deckard, who, yeah, whatever.
okay, let's see.
I don't know the other name.
And if it wasn't obvious, we'll be rotating clockwise the alpha dog. So then Sasha will be the next turn with the alpha.
Oh, I'm the alpha dog.
For turn 1, yep.
That's what that little token is, yeah. And it says alpha dog. Ooh, those eyes.
Oh yeah.
That's a nasty, nasty
if
fellow.
it's a TTS thing, but if you hover over the intruder, it'll tell you how many victory points, so you don't have to flip it over to the backside if you don't want.
They're all 1 victory point.
Let's go.
For turn 1, yeah. It's slow.
Oh, it
even.
changes. Okay.
Here, I guess.
Okay, okay. And I'll go. I had one prepared. I think I'll go here.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. What could that be? Okay,
What are you trying to do to me down there?
so we've all placed. I think it is 4 each, right? Yeah, it looks like.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so then there's no flags. It's kind of like rat tails in Quacks of Quedlinburg. For every flag you're behind from the leader, you would be able to get 1 extra build action. So that's not on round 1. We're going to check for some monsters you kill. We'll give you bonus build actions, that is. But that hasn't happened on round 1, so we'll skip that. So now we can flip and reveal. And it doesn't matter. You can flip everyone's. And then everyone gets a chance to rotate however they see fit their colored pieces.
And is there order to how we win and how we rotate?
We all do it simultaneously unless, there's an obvious back and forth. Well, if you're going to go there, I'm going to go here, and then back and forth we go. If that ever happens, which it hasn't yet, but I've
Alpha
prepared for it,
dog.
we would start with the alpha dog, and he would have to commit his
Okay.
rotations first.
Yeah.
You got it.
Alpha dog.
But so far, it hasn't really happened. I think it's only up to your 2 bark surprises. Are you happy where they're pointing?
Not at the moment.
No.
Oh, wait, I need to change my rotation percentage.
30, I think, works
Degrees.
pretty good. Yeah.
Or, I guess 60. Yeah.
There you go.
Fancy.
And then is that where you want that one?
I'm trying to figure
Okay.
out where things are going to end up.
he's right now he's just sending somebody around your.
I'm sure that's where he's going to end up, landing it right on mine, because that's what I did to yours too.
Oh, that's rude.
Yeah.
Now I didn't predict as well that he also was like, Evan, come on, and it wasn't because I saw it. It felt like it was a hole because of where you placed it on your track.
Yeah.
So this might do nothing. I guess
so
green, you would decide what comes out here, and you probably wouldn't give Evan the 1.
I could allow the bunny rabbit first, which means this only hits it for half. This triggers and it hits the hole, which means the bunny comes out second, and the bunny will be interacting if I choose that order with the blue one.
Got it.
But I could go the other way.
Yeah.
But that's probably what I'll do.
Okay, man.
That goes that way. That goes that way.
It feels really good to have, an entire base defense do half the health of the monster, not the full health. Oh, you're going to give it straight up to yellow. You're not going to take away green's advantage. Interesting.
Well,
He's got it for you.
That's rude.
I would be giving this back to you. I think if I put it this way.
Yeah,
that's rude.
Yeah, he'll get hit for 1 on his path. Yeah.
Very
Don't
rude.
worry. I've seen someone that's like 3-5 ahead and they end up not winning, and other games where they end up winning. So there's a bit of a rubber banding. You can't lose on round 1.
Rude.
Okay, are we happy with that? I think.
I think so.
Okay. Well, if we're happy with it, Evan, you get to resolve both monsters on your yellow path in any order you see fit, but both fully resolved.
All right.
One at a time.
This is gonna go real bad. So, and I think I misunderstood some stuff. So what are you gonna do? So this thing dies.
Mm-hmm.
So do you just like leave it on the thing?
So the tile will come off and it'll stay in front of his player blind as a 1-turn cooldown. Yep.
Got it.
And obviously I didn't know what I was doing. And this thing comes here and then goes back up here and then comes down and then hits me.
Oh, close.
It'll come back next round.
It'll come back next round. So this comes off the board.
Round. Okay.
Yep, that comes off the board. I'm going to flip it upside down.
Coming on your
exactly. You'll have 3 on your lane instead of 2.
I see.
And I flip it upside down just to indicate it is resolved. It'll spawn with the next round's monster. Yep. Okay, so you went up one, and you also went down one. One did get through, right? Or no, it
No.
didn't get through. So
None
you
have
just
gotten
move your
through
yellow
yet.
one up one. Go ahead and move your yellow one up one on the track. You got it. Nice. Okay, and then clockwise, Sasha, you get to go next with your 2 blue intruders.
Okay. So with my first one will be this one, which gets pushed this way and
Yep.
goes to your home.
I'll move back one on the track.
You only move back
then-
one?
So the monster's only worth 1, but as a rule, I want it easier to move forward than backwards. I don't want ping pong, so it'll always be a flat 1 the whole game. Even if a 3 victory point monster makes it through your defenses, you'll move just back the 1, not the 3.
And you move forward one.
You'd move forward the whole value of the monster. In
I
this case,
see.
the monster was only a 1. Yeah.
I see.
The health doesn't equate to the
The
Damage.
victory point,
forward,
right?
just
That would be on the
bottom.
back. Yep.
Um,
All right, and then blue killed the rabbit. So blue, you get to move up with Evan. You're tied now for first,
Heyo.
and I'm way back in last
Kill
place.
the rabbit.
And that's my.
Yep, that was both of
Where does
yours.
this go?
We'll just put the resolved monsters up here at top of the player board, little victory point tracker.
Okay.
Yep. And then what's this squirrel doing here? Oh, it made it
He
through.
He
got-
hit
That's right.
you, yeah.
Yep. So I'll leave him face up just to indicate. Okay, and then well, green would be next. So let me just find the head of green. Well, I can just straight up give yellow a point, so let me not do that. So this bunny rabbit lands here. This gets interacted with.
Whoa.
I was trying to grab both at once.
Rude.
And then it keeps going. It's got 1 health lost, so 2 remain. And then it hits this first, and it does reach 1.
So I go down one.
Yep. And then now it's on cooldown.
Yep.
And then the second guy. Oh, there he goes. Spring. Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then makes it through as well.
Who could have seen that coming? Now, what happens if I get hit again?
You don't go back any further.
See, I wasted my bottom end out.
Yeah.
But maybe red does something. Let's see. You get to control red now, Evan, since you're the alpha dog.
Do I? Okay.
So it looks like
I
like
get a
green
point.
and blue have a little bit of a payout coming in their near future. This is actually good for us, Evan.
Not a whole lot of choice here, Evan.
It's good for us, actually. You'll see. You want blue to get this. You'll see
Do I?
why.
Why?
Yeah. Once you do it, I'll show you.
I don't understand, but that's okay. So there we go.
Yep.
Okay,
So now go ahead and move blue 1 up the track. But now we passed a flag. So next round, you and I will get more build actions than Sasha.
Oh, sucker. So we'll get
build action.
5 and he'll get 4.
So for round
3
1,
and
we're going to do
4.
4, and then we're going to do a flat 3 plus bonus. So we'll get 4 and he'll get 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just the first round that there's a
Yep.
fourth.
Yep. Okay, so it does hit this, which comes off, and then green gets 1. That goes in my cooldown pile.
Yeah.
So Sasha is a little bit of a leader at the moment, but look at all of the cooldown tiles he has that he won't be able to use. He can't do any surprises next round, and one of his hoses is gone too. So at most he can build 2 puddles. He'll have a puddle that he won't be able to build. So that'll limit his options just ever so little. Okay, so we resolved everything. Great. And then just looking at the round phase tracker, we resolved the monsters. We do a little cleanup. There's not much then just rotate the alpha dog. It's pretty much the only cleanup there is. And then I'm going to flip this 1 victory point monster back over. So this is loaded for yellow, and now we need some more monsters. So we'll just go ahead and pull them out in no particular order. All right, so just keep in mind yellow does correctly have 3 because 1 was a carryover from the hole from the last round. And Sasha gets 3 build actions. Evan, you and I will get 3, but then we'll check for bonuses. And then, yes, you and I will get 1/4 during the bonus check. So Sasha, you get to build first.
Defense.
Okay, and then over to me. So I'll put this one here. And back to you, Evan.
Oh, back to me. I'm gonna go there.
Okay.
Chambo.
And back to Sasha. Do either of you have a pet dog or?
My parents do. I don't have one of mine.
I had one growing up as a kid, but I haven't made the plunge. Go ahead, Evan. I haven't made the plunge with the kids yet. And
Yeah.
it was like, if we get a dog, we can't just go to conventions as easy. We got to get a dog sitter, right? And the kids were all super fond about getting a cat, so we have a cat. I'm not necessarily a cat person. I'm more of a dog person, but
I'm
I
more of a
get
cat
along with it.
person than dog person, but I have
Okay.
had dogs and I did enjoy them. So
Nice.
I'm not anti-dog, but I do like cats, and cats like get me. They're like, "What up, man? What are you doing?" I'm just hanging out. What are you doing? Just hanging out. Cool. You want to pet me a little bit? Yeah. All right. Cool.
If I didn't live in a city, I could definitely see myself having a pet, but I don't know. I'm not crazy about having inner city pets.
I think it is your
Let's
turn,
see.
Sasha.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to think what I'm doing.
Okay. Two can play this game.
Injured?
Over to
I
you,
don't
Evan.
like it. I don't like it. We're gonna do some dastardly things. Evil things. You don't know.
Okay.
There's
So that
no way.
Now
that
it's
was the
back to Matt, right?
yeah. So that was the base 3 for everyone, unless Evan wants to reconsider that.
No, it's
Now we
fine.
check for bonuses. So first we check for the flag bonus, and Evan, you and I are at least one flag behind the leader. So you get one for every flag. So I'll get one extra build action rather for that, which I'll put here, and then it's over to
Whoa.
you.
I'm gonna go take this thing.
All right, and then the second bonus we check for is the hole. I think I was the only one to have a hole that did not get interacted with last round, so I'll do
Yeah.
one more for that. Just put it. Red pass feels pretty safe. Put it right there. Okay, so then we flip and reveal and
Okay. And this is
rotate.
when I can rotate, right?
You get to
Even
rotate all your
previous
pieces,
ones.
even previously placed. You got it. I figured you'd put that there.
Yeah.
And I figured Sasha doubled down on that. That was good. Okay, did everyone get their rotations as they, I think, yes?
Wait, let me.
And just for clarity, Evan, you have a 2 and you have a 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they're all at base level 2. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, then Sasha, you're first to resolve all the blue monsters.
Okay, well, not a whole lot to think about here. Boom. Knock this off.
So I'll make sure to take that tile out of the game because it was a one-time use, and I'll go up 1 victory point for that.
And then this gets
That hits for
knocked.
2. Well, sorry, 1 second before I pull that in. Go ahead and refresh all your tiles. Just skip that. All the ones waiting in front of your blind before we mix them up. That's why.
Got it.
And then I'll grab it off. Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to put it in my new pile. And that's still alive with 1 hit. Yep, lands on the blue, I think. Okay, So he'll respawn on the blue path next round.
Yep.
Yep. All right, but it doesn't hit you for negative, so that's just as it is. All right, so those were your 2 blue monsters, and if we rotate to green, I'm looking at green here. That'll hit for 2, so I'll hit it. Oh, that's the squirrel again. I guess I'll hit your. Okay, Evan, you got a victory point for
Yeah,
your yellow guy.
yeah.
There's your tile
I'm back
back.
to the start.
Yep, and you can flip it if you want, Sasha. And then this guy lands here. Didn't see that coming. So it does respawn on the green path, and that's me. Now over to you, Evan.
Okay, we are taking down 2, which will come on down.
I'll get you on the track. There's 1 for you.
Yep. And then we are taking down a 1, which
Nice.
that will come off, and I'll get
1
a
more.
point. And then we're
Yep.
taking down a 1, which unfortunately does hit. Oh, wait, actually, what do you got there? A 3?
That is a 3. If you want to give it to
I'll
me,
give
I'll
it to
take
you.
it.
I'll give it to you.
Look at that, a 3-way tie.
Yeah.
Now it's Red's turn though. Sasha gets to go for Red.
Well, let's go do, let's see.
Be a meanie and
Do
start
the
with the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get the 3, and then your thing gets knocked out.
Yep. Okay, so the poop does actually
That
come out of
gets
the game, so I'm
discarded,
gonna move
yeah.
it up to the top.
So I get 8 points.
And how many did you get? 1 or 2?
Oh,
You definitely killed
tiles.
the first one with the blue one, but then what did happen to the second
I think
monster?
you
The
took
second
a...
one is right here. It hit this.
Oh, yeah, you took
Okay.
out the second one.
So blue should move 1 space.
There you go. Okay, and then green. Ugh, I lost my other gold mine. Why am I helping the red player? I should have put it behind there. So this actually comes back to the red path because that's the path on which it was captured. Okay, I think we've resolved all the monsters. Great. So then we do a little cleanup, which is to rotate the alpha dog. And now the 2 victory point monsters go in the bag. They'll be worth 2 each, but remember they're only -1. So they're either +2 or -1.
Yeah.
And there were still 2 1 victory points in the bag, so there is still 2 1 victory points yet to come out. They'll come out. There's 1 of them. And 1 and 2. Okay, let me explain because some of these will look different. If we start with the delivery boy here, pizza delivery boy is young, teenager. He's pretty agile. He will skip any hoses. He will act as if it's not there. He will not interact with it. It will not remove from the board. He'll pass over as if it wasn't even there. And he has 4 hit points. And this is the delivery truck driver. The delivery truck driver, if he gets scared, he drops his package and runs. His package is worth basically 1 free bone, 1 free build action. So if you were the one to defeat this guy, you'll put it in front of your player area and you can spend it later to do an extra build action. When we check for bonuses, we'll ask, does anyone have a UPS driver, or I mean a package delivery driver, and then we'll have the option to spend it then. This is the dreaded absolutely nothing. Dogs bark at this all the time. You look out your window and you don't see anything. That's what it is. It's absolutely nothing. And this is immune to the dog path. So the running with the paws totally doesn't interact with it as if it's not even there. And then we've already seen the
What's the
pizza
running
guy.
with the paws?
Yeah,
It's
so
the
like
1
this one.
plus adjacent.
The line where
Oh,
you're trying to
okay.
get the paws
Got it.
together. Yep. And then finally, the repairman, he only has 3 hit points, but he will become very disgruntled if he doesn't get paid because it's a service call and it costs money to get to the house and gas and time. So if he gets scared away, he will destroy out of the game permanently whatever destroys him. So if you take him out with your hose, you're down a hose for the rest of the game.
And we're saying hose, is puddle count as hose for these?
Yes.
Got
Yep.
it.
Puddle and hose are equal for the delivery boy. You got it. Yep. So obviously for the repairman, the poop would be probably the optimal play because poop would have come out of the game anyway. No big deal. But any other piece, that could be interesting if it does the final blow. Only the final blow. He only KOs what KOs him.
It wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't KO.
That wouldn't
one of your-
KO. He would respawn to live another day. He
Yeah.
would leave the note on the door and make his service call the following day.
Got it.
Okay, so we're at 3 build actions each, unless you have a gold mine on the board right now, which is everyone but me. And also there are no delivery boys just yet, but there will be one at the end of this round. So I'll go first to kick things off. I'll put this here,
Whoa.
and it's over to Evan.
Really? Really? Take that.
Okay.
Hmm. Let's. Hmm.
How many rounds are there?
So on the track, we could call early, but normally once a player ends their turn on or past the 3 paw in a 3-player game would trigger the last round. So I have seen players move past the 3, but then because intruders made it through, they move back before the 3. That would not trigger the round. They have to end the round on or past the 3.
And then that is it.
Then that would be the last of all rounds. Yep.
It doesn't trigger another round. It says that, okay, that was it.
I'm gonna say right now, sudden death. We'll see how it feels, but that's how I've been trying it.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. I've been in games where then you do one more full round, but we'll see. So if someone's turning the horn somewhere around here, you
Yeah.
might want to be a little bit careful that they could trigger the end. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it back to me then, Sasha? I think.
Yeah, I played a piece.
Okay. So I'm going to put this here. Okay.
So ignoring the hose, does that mean he doesn't interact with it or he discards it?
He does not interact with it. It would remain on the board to kill another monster.
Okay. Not that I'm doing that. So, you know.
And who's the first player again?
Green this turn.
Got it.
Yellow. Okay.
What are you going to do?
So I'm playing out a total of 4 this round, I think, right? Because of this.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I guess here.
Okay. Okay. Gotta put this here. Over to you, Evan.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's Sasha's turn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then both of you will get one more, and it'll skip me because I don't have any gold mines out.
Yeah.
Any dog holes. It's a shame. I had 2 last round out, and not a single one survived.
This is what you get.
All right, back to you, Evan. So what's the name of your cats, since you said you're a cat person?
Well, I don't have any right now.
Oh, you don't have any right now.
I
Okay.
keep trying to convince my wife, and she's like, "We are not having another living being that I have to take care of at all in this house." And I was like, "Fair."
I think Sasha gets the last of the round. Last build
Okay.
of the round.
No, I get one more. Oh no, that is my fourth.
I think it's your fourth,
That's
yeah.
my fourth. Yep.
And
Whoops.
okay, did this incorrectly.
Whoops.
Okay, I don't think there's any other build actions or bonuses, and we'll go ahead and flip and rotate. It was a surprise. I figured that was what yellow was up to.
You don't know. You don't know what I do.
I'll say I did not play optimally this turn, but it was too much fun not to. So I just wanted for the lulz to try it out.
Oh, I totally put this on the wrong side. Oh well, whatever. It's fine. Yeah. I was supposed to put this on the other side of this thing.
I don't think it matters. I'd say
Alright,
go for it.
Yeah, yeah. There we go. Okay. Alright. I was like, wait, which one? Oh, dang.
Is that where everyone's happy with them?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah. You like that?
It's rude.
All right, so we'll start with green. The repairman comes out. He gets zapped by a 2, so he's out of the game, and it takes this out of the game, but it was going to go out of the game anyway. So that's 1-2 for green. And then this 4 hit point guy hits here. That comes out of the game. He's got 1 health left, and he makes it to the end. So I'm going to go back 1, and then this little squirrel has nothing to stop him. So I'm back where I started. Over to you, Evan.
Okay, so I've got. What does this guy do? If you kill him, he gives you an extra bone. We're setting this guy first. Boop, boop, boop.
Okay.
Which gets rid of a couple of times.
So he comes back to my.
We're supposed to have pulled back. Sorry, I missed it again. I got to read my own note. Just don't mix it up with ones you already had in your cooldown. There's already some pieces that should be pulled back in your player area.
This one.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, the ones from last round. Only fresh this round. I don't think much has come off this round for you just yet.
Okay, what was I doing? Oh, this one. A badoink. Womp.
Yep. And that was worth the extra build action too. No one got it, so I'm gonna go back 1. But hey, I'm a flag behind, so that's something. Was that all your green ones, I think? What's this one here?
That's the one that went off Sasha's track.
Oh, got it. Okay, perfect. Okay, Sasha, you're up.
Or came off from his dig.
Yeah. You got it.
I guess I will go. I mean, there's not much decision here. This goes to here.
Yay, another one.
This, I get a victory point. But then I'm going to lose a victory point from this.
Okay.
So I'll remove my puddle, and then that's me.
Yeah, man.
All right, I think everything got resolved but red. So let's see what happens to red. So what do we got? A 3
I didn't
coming.
even notice this. That's rude.
Yeah, he dumped 1 on yellow and 1 on. He picked on both of us evenly.
That's
I guess.
Rude.
Green double double dunked on me.
Yeah. You were in the lead. To be fair, you were in the lead at the time. Yeah, I'm thinking the 4 is probably the.
That's what gets his thing out of the way.
Yeah. So here he comes. He hits here. So there goes your blue one.
Yeah.
He's a yellow problem now.
He totally ignores that.
He ignores,
and then
this
comes off.
Yeah, and he respawns yellow.
Oh, that's rude.
Let's see. There's not much decision now. 2 hits for 1. Hits for 1. Hey, yellow got a
Yeah,
kill.
look out, everybody. I'm doing things.
Okay, and then the last one makes it to the end of red, and there's no penalty for red. He's not a player, so red doesn't move. All right, so ends the round. The alpha dog moves back over to Evan. We'll flip. Let me leave him face down for a second. Shuffle these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see. Do we have anything that we didn't see last round? No, everything we saw last round.
All right.
And I'm gonna make the executive decision, and it's on Evan's turn, so it'll benefit him probably the most.
Yeah.
Let's do 4 build actions. 3 seemed a little bit under what I was going for.
Is
I'm
it? Okay.
struggling to keep the economy. I don't want it to be too overwhelming, but I don't want us to
Yeah.
be so runaway. And that's really where I'm trying to fine tune right now. How many monsters spawn? How much defense do we have? How much build action? 'Cause I've seen some people run away with the gold mines too much. We've been pretty good at keeping each other in check, but yeah, let's do base 4 and then we'll check for bonuses. Okay.
Okay. Let's go. So with the puddles and the hoses, is that just like a legal placement thing, or does a puddle not work if there's not a hose next to it?
It won't work unless there's a hose next to it. Yeah.
Okay.
What is this? Did we forget to flip that?
No, I think
No,
you
I
just
just put
placed
it
that.
out.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Nice try.
I'll say for the previously placed ones, they're still wet. They'll still I see what your question was. They'll still react. The ground is still wet. It'll still get him damp, and he'll still want to leave and flee the path. So that'd still be valid. But in order to build it, it's just a build requirement, not
Got
a
it. Yeah.
persistent.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
yeah, if like the hose was taken out,
The water would still take effect. It's
okay,
still
yeah.
wet ground.
Or if
Yep.
I rotate that hose, the old wet water stays wet.
Yes.
Yep.
And then he
Perfect.
could squirt another direction. You got it.
Got it.
Perfect.
Well, I won't be surprising anyone this round. neither will Sasha. It's all up to you, Evan, to
I'll
throw
work on it. I will
some
work on it.
chaos in this round.
Let's go.
Well, I can't touch Sasha, so. Well, maybe I could actually. I guess I can put my stuff anywhere, not just on my train.
That's very true. I was hoping you guys were gonna help me last round a little bit more because I started to realize like, there's a whole bunch that's gonna get through. Come on, guys. I'm mentally saying this. Come on, build on my path. And no. And in fact, it was the opposite. Sasha's like, I'll dump one on your
Yeah,
path.
send more onto that path. It's I guess
You should have hit Evan, not me, because then you'd be the sole leader right now. Instead of dumping me back one, would have dumped Evan back one. Oh, building on the blue path.
That's rude.
Okay, well then I'm going right here.
That
You're
is
up.
rude. Let's go. Man, I got so many dudes coming down the thing here. He doesn't care about water, he doesn't care about dogs. Doesn't care about nothing. Let's go. This thing.
Helping old buddy Green out. Thank you. Much
You're welcome.
appreciated.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm helping. That's what we'll call it.
So we're playing out 4 by default, right? And you're going to
Yeah.
be doing 5 because you're 1 flag behind.
I'm 1 flag behind, and I don't see any gold mines out. I think we're pretty good as a group of clearing them all. The holes.
Oh, come on now.
Okay, Evan.
Come on now. What the heck did I put in?
Oh, back to you, Evan.
Hmm.
I like it. So snappy. Boy, Blue, I don't think you have any worry about something getting through your path.
That's it, huh? Right?
That's the 4, right? So then we check
Yeah.
for flags. I'm 1 flag behind, so let me go ahead and put this here, we'll say. And then, yeah, rotate however you want.
Oh.
And go ahead and pull your spent tiles from last round back in.
Yeah, so we just take them back as soon as we flip up.
Yep. I don't have a lot of bonuses this round.
How many of those dog movies do you have? Just one? Just 2, I mean?
2, yeah.
The dog movies?
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And you get to start us, Evan, once everyone's done rotating.
I shall, and I think I am totally messed up. Again. Okay.
Well, you're tied for first, so I wouldn't be too hard on yourself.
I will go. Let's see, this 4 skips dog puddles, or skips dog shoes.
The dog path. Yep, the running path.
The 3 trashes, and the 4 skips water.
Yep, you got it.
So the 3.
It'd be mean for yellow. You don't want to do that to yourself, I don't think.
No.
I mean, maybe you do, but that's probably not what you want.
I mean, it is 2 points.
It is 2 points. You just lose one of your 4 waters. You got 4 of them. 4 puddles, that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Jambo.
It's a resource.
So I get 2 points.
You do. And now that puddle comes out of the game. Yep.
Yeah. And then the 4, I'm being rude to myself. The 4 is coming.
Green's problem. Poor Green.
That sucker.
I think this 4 is coming down.
I mean, it's actually good for Green. It's points for Green.
If I can kill it, I don't think I can kill it.
Oh, it's taking 2 damage
and then it takes out my 2.
Yeah, that's a 2.
And then
then
you're
that
1.
doesn't stop it.
Yeah, I can't.
So I kind of ruined myself, but
that doesn't stop it, right?
Oh, that's true. It's water. Good call. So the 2 hit points, it makes it to the end with 2.
Yeah.
I should have done the other guy. Oh well, whatever.
Do you wanna? I don't care. There's not much to undo that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the other guy. So
just remove that.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of that guy, he comes down and it removes this instead of this.
Okay.
Then he still comes through and still takes that out.
Yep.
And still hits you.
So I'm
Like
still
a
where I
jerk.
am.
Yeah. And then this guy comes down, and he hits my thing. And hits me.
Yep.
Whoops.
Was that
My
all the
turn.
yellows? I think, right? So over to blue.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just start with this one
Nice.
and
You get that build action.
and then also the 2 points.
Yep. Go ahead.
1, 2. And then this will also be 2 points.
Yeah. Nice.
And then this, well, you'll get it, but you lose your 2 puddles.
Yeah, lose my 2 puddles, but I get 2 points out of it. Yay!
And I think that's the end of me.
Okay, then it's over to green. I'm gonna take him out with this guy, so I'm gonna get 2 points for that. Both of them come out of the game. 1, 2, and then this delivery boy
Yellow
is gonna
gets
hit for 3, and yellow, you get an extra build action.
Yeah.
And 2
2
points.
Yeah.
And then yellow, you get to do red.
I will
Which
do red.
there's not much to do.
Red gets hit twice.
Yep.
Red sucks.
He does. All right, and then we'll rotate alpha dog, and I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it won't come out, but I'll put some of the 3s, so we'll see a couple of those.
Well, they could all come out.
All right, let's see what we got. No holdovers, interestingly. All right, so this is a 3-point monster on the backside, and if you hover over it, it'll say 3VP. Is the mailman, the traditional mailman. Now, the mailman's been bitten on the ankles so many times by so many dogs. He's got thick skin. He doesn't even feel it anymore. So you have to do more than 1 damage to do any damage. So 1 damage does 0, 2 does 2, 3 does 3, but 1 does 0.
Oh, it's not
Got
-1
It's not
from everything.
-1.
It's
Okay.
just ones don't hit it.
Yeah, you have to get through his skin with a 2 or a 3.
Got it.
And this is a pair of religious witnesses. They travel in pairs, and there are 2 of them. They each have 3 hit points each. So if something does 3 damage to him, it will come back to life and continue right where it left off, and then 3 more damage until it finally dies.
It'll come back, meaning it goes back to the beginning.
So let's say 3 hit points is here. There's a poop waiting for it. And it'll start right again, and then it'll go here and just as if it has 2 sets of 3. It's 6 hits, just 2 sets of 3. So you could hit it for 2. It's only got 1 hit left. Then you could hit it for 3, which kills it, but then comes back to life with 3. So it could soak up.
You would
could soak up more than
I see. Okay.
So 2 poops are the optimal way, perhaps, to take that one out, but there's other ways to take it out. And Sasha, I think you're first for us. And just a fair heads up, probably someone's going to hit the 3 at the end of this round, so this probably will be the last one, unless something crazy happens.
Let's go.
Going right for that red player. And it's Sasha that gets to control it too. Yeah. I'm grabbing some of those victory points. You're up.
Hmm.
Oh, helping a brother out. I like it.
Let's see. Let's see. Stealing your points, whatever may have you.
Oh, I'm not letting them get that far down the path.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm, 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 mm. That was good. That's good. Okay, okay. I'll go there. Actually, I'm gonna go there. Okay.
Well then, I'll go there.
Hmm.
Has the hint card that you have in your player area been helpful? I created that tonight.
I haven't really checked it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't used it yet.
Okay.
Oh, plus one
I
damage
looked
per
at it
adjacent pawn.
before we started the game, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't felt the need to reference it during the
Okay.
game yet. Um. Hmm.
Hmm. You see, Sasha, he's
Uh-huh.
spawn, spawn, spawn. All his
Uh-huh.
builds are like,
Uh-huh.
ooh, he's got something going on.
Oh yeah.
Trying to figure out what it is. I don't think I've ever seen so many spawn builds consecutively. I gotta come up with a plan though.
You guys have to react to what I do.
You don't know. You don't know what I'll do.
Hmm. Hmm.
Stealing my points.
Put it there.
You stealing my points?
This is gonna be an unpredictable round. Okay. Sasha, you've got 3 out, right? You get your last one, and then you get your bonus if you want it later.
Mm-hmm. Um. Hmm.
4 is the base. Is that what you said, right?
We're doing 4 base, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
Wait,
brutal.
sorry.
No.
No,
Oh.
actually,
Eh.
there was no point for playing the one that I played there.
I'll go there. That was my base 4, and then I think Evan, you're last to build your base 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I am.
All right, then we check for flags, and we'll see if it matters. But so I'll be one flag behind. Why couldn't blue have one more? Then I'd have 2 extra build actions. All right, so I get 1 for my flag, which is going to be, what should I build?
Don't worry, I'll have more points soon.
He
You'll have
says
all the
pretty
flags you ever
confidently.
want.
I'm gonna put that there. Okay, then we check for the additional bonuses. So
Yeah.
anyone with a gold mine or a worker. So did you want to spend your worker to?
FedEx.
Yep. So Sasha's spending his worker, right? You want to spend that?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you did your last build. You don't have any gold mines out, right? Yeah. I do have a gold mine out. Actually.
Oh, well, go ahead then.
1 second. I'm regretting that last one I put out.
Yeah, me too.
Regrets.
One. Yeah. 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 Guess I'll go here. For better or for worse, let's see. Nice.
I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Rotate them, and you get to pull back into your player area the ones from last round. Oh, yellow. Let's see how you rotate that one. See if you help me out with it.
Let's see. I was gonna give that over to Sasha. I forgot about that guy.
And I guess, yeah, this doesn't actually do anything.
Hi. You're first up, Sasha.
Okay. Let's do
That guy. What's that guy's
50
power?
points. 4.
It gets hit with the 3 and the 4. Right?
Yep.
All right, so 1 comes out and 1 stays in. Did you get your 2 VP? Yeah, great. Okay.
Well, I get to keep that guy, right?
Oh, that's my bad.
Nice try.
It could be another round. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And now this comes this way.
1. Oh, that's actually 0 because it only does 1 damage. So
Yep.
he's still full. So blue lives another round. Blue's gonna get it. All right.
That's me.
Over to green. So I don't think it matters which one I kill because then it's blue's problem and it's gonna get respawned on blue. So what do I want to give blue? I guess it doesn't matter. So these are gonna come out. That's 2 VP. 1, 2. Hey, is that what it looks like up here at the front of the pack? And then this is going to interact here. So it's going to come over here and I made it through. So this jumps to blue. Oh boy, blue, you're going to have a fun
Wasn't this
path.
supposed to come down also?
It already did.
Oh, it already did.
It hit the thing and it respawned.
Oh, there was another one.
And then this one. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yep. It's the path, not the color of the gold mine.
I see.
So then that's it for green. What do you got, yellow?
Yellow, this guy's gonna hit a landmine.
Nice.
That'll be 2 points.
Yeah, they both come out. They both go into the pile.
And then this is just gonna go to red.
And then that guy
hits the landmine, goes to red.
Yep.
Yep. Did you see that one coming?
And then, well, well, since you guys both played around me, I was like, okay, well, I'm not actually going to get any points there, so whatever. But I was glad that no one got the point for that. I'm going to take these 2 points.
Yep, nice.
What does that guy do? I have trouble tracking what you're supposed to ignore or not.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
you get rid of the tile for good.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
But,
Yep. And then, so you go up 2 for that, but then you're going to go down 1 for this.
It's not enough.
Oh. And that is all the monsters that need resolved this round. So then these 2 would be left over for next round. Did you want to call it here, or do you want to play one more round?
Well, didn't he just trigger the ending?
Yeah, normally that would trigger the end. Yep.
all right.
And then we scored up. See who's farthest ahead. Looks like blue got it. Nicely done.
Yeah.
If there was another round, it would have been interesting because of the sheer volume
There's
that
a lot
blue.
of stuff in
I
my
know,
hand.
yeah.
I mean, I was that's why I put my gold mine here, is just to, since I felt confident it was going to be the last round.
Sure, sure.
If I didn't think it was going to be last round, I probably wouldn't have done that, because yeah, I think I'd have a hard time this next round.
Well, next round, yellow would have gotten an extra build action too. 2 extra build actions. Yeah, you would have surged.
Yep.
Yellow would have been able to equal or exceed blue, perhaps.
I was in prime position.
We needed to take 1 more away from them so it didn't trigger the end.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh well. What are you gonna do?
All right, well, thanks for playing, guys.
Yeah, heck
You had fun.
Thanks for sharing.
Was that your first time, Sasha, playing this?
Playing this, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you had played it once before.
Oh no.
Let's
I dig it.
Let's do feedback.
Great.
Sasha, that's you.
Yep. When it's just Evan and I play testing, I have to be the first one.
Oh yeah.
Feedback.
Okay.
We both like to wait.
Yeah, we both like to
go
at last. But it's Evan's show, so
exactly.
So yeah, overall I really like it. I'm just initially right off the bat, I am a big sucker for tower defense games. I definitely I have several tower defense games that I've sort of been working on at various times. I've played lots of tower defense games, and so it sort of has a special place in my heart, I guess, for that reason. So initially I was thinking that it might run into some of the issues that I see a lot of other tabletop tower defense games do, with being sort of fiddly, which I don't think there's a complete lack of fiddliness, but I think the way that each thing sort of resolves its entirety of its movement is a really cool way of sort of addressing that common issue with tower defense games. And I didn't, that aspect that I thought could be fiddly when I first saw the game, I was very happy that it wasn't fiddly like I was sort of worrying. So I definitely props for having a good solution for this genre. So I like that a lot. Going through my list of things, I wrote these as they came into my head. Some of them might have been slightly addressed as we were going, so I'll try and figure that out as I say them. Thematically scaring something into your yard. Oh, it was just like a little thing that like thematically we're like trying to keep things out of our yard, but we can like scare things into our yard. I thought that was going to be like, I was going to want to be scaring things into my yard more than I ended up wanting to do. That pretty much never really came up for me. I never really wanted to spend one of my scare into another yard on getting something into my yard. I could see situations where I would want to do that, but I don't think it's a thematic problem like I imagined it would be when I first learned about that.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's fine. Paw adjacency complexity Y. Oh, Yeah, I I was sort of wondering about these ones a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I I sort of did didn't fully understand why they had to be this straight line thing because um I don't know, these seemed sort of bad to me in general because partially because of that restriction, but also when one thing comes through and knocks one down, then this one is less powerful. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it I kept seeing the amount of tiles that I have to place out for them to do decent amounts of damage, and the fact that they each time one got hit, it would knock down the damage of all the other ones. That made them feel a lot worse to me, and so I basically never played them. I think I might have played one once just because I needed just one damage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I I feel like I'd be more inclined to play them if the adjacency didn't matter, and it that doesn't seem to it didn't imagining it in my head it didn't seem like that'd be too powerful. So I was just that was my note was just is that complexity of they have to be in a straight line matching their
Mm-hmm.
symbols worth it. Um, but yeah, obviously you've from
Yeah.
playtesting maybe you've learned that it is absolutely necessary. But
And if you just let me, it's a great comment, and I've thought the same. If they line like this, the
mhm.
center one would do 3, right? That would be the first
Yeah,
one up,
and then these
and
each
would
are
and then they
really
would
bad.
hit them for 1. What I had originally planned was, let's say that you did line them up
Hmm.
in a line like this. Um, I had originally planned that this would do a 2 and this would do a 3, and then they would both come off.
Hmm.
But it got a little more fiddly in the resolution because you had to keep like a semi-state resolve and then go back through the trail and remove all the ones. Like, so in other words, the monster moves all the way. Oh, look, it got killed here. Now, which ones did it touch? It touched this one, it touched this one, it touched it.
Hmm.
And you had to kind of backtrack and be like, which ones did it touch? It
Hmm.
just made things cleaner to
Hmm.
say immediately when it touches, you immediately resolve it. But then
Hmm.
it totally nerfed this guy
Yeah,
because in previous versions, it would literally, well, since it was started the round, this would hit for a 3 no matter what.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I gotta figure a way to boost it a little bit, but I felt the same as you that it felt a little underwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah. So like obviously there's different ways of tackling that. There's ways of sort of uh, fixing it so it works the way that you would initially think it would work.
Mm-hmm.
They just do as much damage as they have at the beginning of the round. That there's a couple different ways of doing that, but I also there's other ways of buffing them. Like I was saying, just making their adjacency not matter as much, because then you can like place them like this, and then now there's always going to be 2 of them that are hitting for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like as I build a bigger sort of thing of them, then they like I don't know. There's potential for something interesting there,
Yeah.
and it also can sort of be hide if you're building a grouping of these or if you're
Mm-hmm.
doing a water grouping.
Yep. Yep.
Um, yeah. Uh, so that was that note. Um, Resolving rotating slowdown. That was just like my sort of initial impression
Mm-hmm.
of us placing them out and then having that sort of reveal phase and then having the rotation, especially when there's like, and I actually wrote a note a little bit later. The bushes were like single-handedly the thing that caused all of my AP.
Mm.
Um, because that's where I have all this information, everything is revealed, and now I have to like analyze where everything is going to go and how everything could uh go like resolve based on other people's actions. Like I loved the bushes because it let me be tricky, but it also was the thing that slowed me down like
Mm-hmm.
uh fivefold more than anything else did. So I don't know what the correct solution to that is, because I did enjoy it, but
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
also didn't enjoy the fact that I was slowing down the game because I was AP.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, that's more of a sort of feeling thing. I could brainstorm solutions, but that's not what I don't have a specific solutions right now. I just wanted to point that out because that's what I felt. Um,
Nice. I made a note.
um, I was sort of wondering about how the dummy players work with two players. Is
My
this a
thought for
game?
2 players was that I would flip the game board, and on the back side would be just 2 spiral paths that
Got it.
touched each
They
other
just interact with
perfectly.
each other. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. Um, yeah. So the dummy player is definitely a something that makes three players significantly different than uh 4 player or 2 player in that
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
Like it definitely buffs the alpha dog a lot, so the first player matters a lot more. At least that's my interpretation. I again, I'm saying all
That's
this
fair.
stuff like
Yeah.
it's fact. Like that's how I
Hmm.
see it going.
Oh, I'm agreeing with
Um,
you.
um, but so not that's necessarily wrong or bad, but it just maybe there's something. It's just something to look out for. At least if I was playtesting this more, this would be something that I would uh,
Hmm.
just be concerned. Not that there's definitely going to be something wrong, but it will cause different play experiences or potential imbalances. Um, resolving, rotating, slow down. Oh yeah, I already said that. Adjacent doggy changing when things get removed. Oh yeah, we already talked about that.
Yep. Yep.
Um, too much on the board. Uh, so my play experience with this one, with this specific play, was I want to get gold mines on the table because that allows me to play more on future turns.
Hmm.
Um, and we all sort of recognize that. I think everyone had these gold mines, and we sort of wanted to disrupt gold mines. But actually, to be honest, now I think back to it, I wasn't specifically thinking I want to disrupt people's gold mines. I was just like, I want to shove as much stuff down someone's lane as I can, and that just ended up disrupting gold mines.
Okay.
Um, and as a result, it sort of put more stuff into the next round, which sort of it felt like it had this cascading effect of I I think there was only one round where I got to keep one of my tiles on the board.
Hmm.
Um, and I like sort of wanted to build up, and maybe this was exacerbated because of these, and it also was likely exacerbated by us starting with only 3 tiles around at the beginning. I think maybe if there was 4 tiles around every single round, I would
Right.
maybe feel this less. And I guess this ties into the next thing that I wrote down. It just felt like the sort of health or the amount of things that we had to deal with was a bit beyond the amount of damage and things I was able to play out. Again, the switching it from a default of 3 actions around to 4 actions around is moving in the right direction to address that. I would have to play a game from the beginning with it being 4 rounds to know
Hmm.
if that actually how much that actually affected it. But I think it was a good call for you to switch us to 4 tiles around by default. Because yeah, I was definitely feeling that. Um, uh, little note, not a big thing. Just the way that the mailman works with that armor. Just really making sure to call out how that works specifically, because that is not necessarily the intuitive way that armor
Hmm.
works in a lot
Hmm.
of other games. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think it's wrong or bad or anything. It just really make sure to call it out, and or maybe use a different icon, because that the shield icon with a number in it, I
Hmm.
just immediately makes me think, okay, reduce damage by 1, um, and or once that one, it has like 7 health basically. which that's more intuitive. Not that it doesn't work that way because why not just write 7? But that's what shield makes me think is either it's extra health that is like can come back, or it's a reduced by 1 thing.
Sure.
So yeah. Double 3 health seems complex for what it does most of the time. Yeah, this was just on the point with the
Mm-hmm.
the
The
vampire,
religious witness. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm careful how I say that.
Yeah. So it felt too complex for how it would work most of the time. I feel like most of the time, if people see that, they are going to be actively trying to just do chunks of 3. And so I feel like the number of times that is gonna work mechanically the same as having 6 health would be a little bit high for the complexity of like, okay, wait, did this die once? If it did die once, how much damage is on? How much damage is? If it didn't die once, how much damage is on the first death? And like, there's like several things to sort of track there, which I think is just it didn't feel worth the complexity to
Mm-hmm.
me. Again, we only saw it once, so maybe if I saw it a couple times, then it was like interesting sometime. But it didn't seem like that rules complexity was worth
Sure.
what the outcome was, or what I imagine the outcome would normally be. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I, I think it could be interesting if like when it died, it goes back to its spawn point and then comes out again. Like that could be more interesting. That was what I sort of thought it might be from first looking at it. Um,
So
but
3 hits, dies, respawns to still 3 hits, comes down the path a second
yeah,
time.
because if it like got bumped into another lane, now it's like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
starting back from another. Like that could be
Yep.
strategically interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and not just feel like just having 6 health.
And it's thematic that it comes back to life. So
Yeah,
I think that fits well.
yeah, just as an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is everything that I have written down. Again, once Evan starts giving his feedback, I'm sure I'm gonna have things that
Mm-hmm.
are
Mm-hmm.
rejogged. But those are my main thoughts. I did really
Nice.
enjoy the sort of core loop, and I enjoy your solution for the fiddliness in a tower defense game because I do like the genre,
Mm-hmm.
and they often run into that sort of fiddliness. So
Sweet.
I like this solution. So yeah,
Thank you. And
thanks.
I think we got a minute before Evan comes back, but
Oh, he's back now.
what's your hot take on the 2 we didn't see? So
Oh
here
yeah.
are the 3 victory points that we didn't see. Each monster's worth 3 victory points. So the bird has 5 health and is immune to all the single tiles. So specifically the poop, the bark surprise, and the gold mine, the hole.
Mm-hmm.
He will fly right over those 3 as if they're not there. So it is impossible to scare the bird out of your path into another path.
Mm-hmm.
So only the running path and the hose and the puddles can affect the bird. And the distracted selfie teenager is so distracted that depending on the path they start, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is where they spawn. Their gate is right here, so they'll be out of the gate in one of these 2 spots because they're so distracted. So they
Mm-hmm.
basically shortens the path to half as long.
Okay. Yeah. So this actually brings up a thought that I had. I I didn't I thought the special abilities on the enemies
Mm-hmm.
I could sort of take or leave. Like I definitely was there were a couple situations where I thought it was interesting. It sort of made me make different decisions, um, but I mainly cared about how much health they had. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I I think those are fine and in line with the other powers.
Right.
And I would be interested to see if the game would be boring if it was just the numbers or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am not 100% convinced that it wouldn't be
Right.
as fun and interesting. But again, I feel like I have to play it, and or like maybe that's a first time play type of thing where like the first time you play,
Yeah.
they don't have powers, they just have their health.
Sure.
But yeah, that was my sort of thought on this.
Okay.
But that is I'll let Evan take the. I'm going to run to the bathroom really quick.
Yeah,
So
no problem. Evan, are you with us?
I am.
Oh, perfect. What do you got for me?
Yeah, so first I have played this before. I think it might have been a different thing, but
It was
uh,
a nondescript fantasy dark
yes,
tower with,
that sounds
yep.
that sounds correct.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is a theme mismatch here for me, where like the lanes and how they're traveling down just doesn't make any sense for yards.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it just kind of is what it is, and that's fine. But um, because the only other alternative is to change how this is set up or change the theme, and so probably neither of those are what you want to do. um, but yeah, to me, the spiral and the yards like don't doesn't make any sense. But the let's see when when to rotate was a question for me. Um, but really that's during round phase E where you reveal and rotate defenses, just specifying that you can rotate existing ones also.
Mm-hmm.
So no big deal. Um, empty player always goes last. What does that mean? I
That
don't know
was
what
the
that
red
means.
player in this game.
Oh,
So we
empty
go in
player
turn
always
order,
goes
and then
last.
the empty dummy path would always go last.
Yeah, it didn't end up being as weird as I expected, but it definitely felt weird to like skip and then return to it
Mm-hmm.
instead of just doing things in order.
Right.
But I assume it was causing problems if you did it in order. Is that
Uh, well, I mean, if if the red is next to you and I'm opposite red, there's an inherent difference in the resolution. So, you're not going to get that great hit. I'm going to get to go last when you go first, which means your advantage is kind of nerfed a little bit. Sitting
mm-hmm,
happens to sit next to the red player. That was my
mm-hmm,
thinking.
right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I feel strong. I was just like, I wonder if that's right, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's wrong because yeah, that makes sense too. um, the dog run. I liked Sasha's idea that it didn't have
Yeah.
to be
Mm-hmm.
linearly contiguous. Or you could just make them have a 2 damage base and keep it exactly otherwise how it is. So they're doing at least 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 in a line.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you have any defenses that do 2 right now, right?
Not natively, only with
Yeah,
bonus.
yeah. So if you swap that out, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
could be
Yeah.
good, and then it might handle some of the extra flow without needing to place 4. I don't know,
Right.
and because in my head, placing fewer is better
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
far as like game flow goes.
Sure.
So maybe bumping those up might do the trick, and then you only need 3. I don't know, and then they don't feel bad. Probably, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Um, the abilities on the guys for me, there was just many, too many little tiny icons to track. I was like, what does that one do again? Wait, what does that one do again? And then, especially since like the first round guys didn't really have any icons, and then it was like, now they all have icons, you know. Um, it was like there wasn't much stepping into it. It was like none of them have icons, all of them have icons. So I don't know if I'm thinking that you need to pepper it in earlier, or if I'm thinking just don't have as many icons.
Hmm.
Probably the second one. Because for me, most of them were not interestingly different than having just different, unique hit point values.
Right.
The ones that ignored certain types of terrain were interesting, I thought,
Hmm.
generally. And of course, the delivery person giving you an extra buy is
Hmm.
maybe too different and better since you get to choose like when you send people down. But um, it's just like, hey, did you luck into being able to get that? Or I don't know, maybe since they're revealed when you place it out, then that's not a thing, and that's fine for planning. But they're definitely like better,
Yeah.
for better or worse. They're you want those, and the other ones you're like, that can go in any yard, thank you. Um, yeah, the double flip thing to me, having it on one type of tile is not worth the rules overhead of explaining what that means. Same thing with the defense thing.
Hmm.
Just having it on one tile, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you're getting your rules overhead for your buck there.
And that last one again was which one
The
specifically?
mailman,
Ah, okay.
yeah, I would just give him 8 hit points or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and then it's not another little icon. I have to remember what the heck it means. And then like go and be like, wait, so it's off of each one, or wait, it's only the one, like you can make it more clear, but I
Hmm.
yeah. Um, okay. So then the other thing is, and you've probably already tried this and have a really good reason not to do it, but what I really wanted to do was let them be landmines, so that it reduces AP and it reduces the this is the best way of executing your turn. So basically, all the tiles are face down until they are ran into,
Oh, okay.
right? And so, the mailman steps on something, you flip it up, and then you find out what he stepped in
Hmm. Hmm.
or what happened. Um, Obviously, some of your mechanisms make that less ideal, but I think you can massage that pretty easily with like, if you want to flip up a tile, you can, if it's yours at
Hmm.
any
Hmm.
time, you know.
Right.
But like if somebody steps in a puddle, you have to like reveal, like, yep, look, there's a there's a thing there, or whatever.
Right. Yep.
Or just change how it works or whatever. But I think that would leave in my head that gameplay loop sounds a little more interesting.
Hmm.
Where you kind of have to be like, oh, geez, I don't know. Do I send the 4 down that ignores the pause, or do I send the 3 down because I know that I can kill
I do
that?
like the tension of that. Yeah.
Um, and then if things are left between rounds, depending on how you're tracking what is newly placed out or not, you might either just have to reveal everything that's left,
Hmm.
as like known entities, or keep them face down if you're tracking how you put out new ones in a different way. But if
Right.
you're just looking on the board and seeing what's face down to count how many face down ones you've put out, then obviously that's trouble, and just end of round you'd need to reveal them all. Which maybe
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you put that there, okay, like maybe that's a cool moment. And then the
Hmm.
orientation is decided upon reveal, obviously.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it kind of takes out some of that weird squigginess during that like reveal everything step where it's like, wait, which way are you sending that? Wait, am I gonna?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little thing off
Yeah.
of that. I don't think you even need rotation in that sense. Like bushes, just send it to an adjacent spot.
Oh, right.
Puddles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Pl
But
player
there are other
regret
things that matter. Yeah. Yeah.
was the main reason for that.
What's
Players
that?
will player regret.
Hmm.
They'll put it down, and then later they'll flip it face up and be like, "Oh, I was so stupid. Why during the build phase did I face it that way? That clearly doesn't make any sense." Or sometimes they're like, "Oh, that's what you built next to me. Well, I'm gonna rotate my guy and I'm gonna face you." So I've seen sometimes they like the agency of rotation, and sometimes they really regret that they've locked in this stupid decision and they're stuck with it, and it's like a play where it's on the red path and it just sends them forward once on the red path. Like it's a total waste of move. There's nothing there to land on. So it's absolutely changing nothing other than, clearly they wasted one of their turns.
Right. And you want to
But if they
maintain that?
no, I'm just saying with the free rotation phase, they were able to mitigate that. Be like, oh, I see. That's not gonna. But
Right.
I don't know. I could try it again. The main thing with placing face down and leaving face down until resolution is fun. I'm gonna have to try it again. I made a note. But what I found is players they kept peeking their own. They couldn't
Yeah.
remember their own four. Like,
Yeah.
I can't remember. What's that? What's that? They're constantly reaching,
Totally.
reaching, reaching, peeking, peeking,
Totally.
peeking. Yeah.
That makes total sense. That makes total
So,
sense. That could be an issue.
but
But
I,
yeah,
but I
no.
like what that does for the game. I
Yeah.
like the tension of, ooh, do I really want to do this? Because I really have no idea what comes down, and the other
Right.
players, yeah, go ahead.
Right. And that's
Yeah,
why erring towards placing fewer tiles might be better in that if you're doing
yeah,
that sort of system. I didn't get
yep.
the problem with rotation with the face down tiles though.
Okay. Oh, in general, so
Yeah.
uh, the player they sometimes AP a little bit in I'm locking this in now. Not only is it the position, but it's also the rotation. Let me think about this. Let me see who's going past the path. And okay, do I want to sling it to the blue or do I want to sling it to the red? Or like they'll spend just a little bit more time in placement because now they don't have the flexibility of rotation later.
I'm saying you can rotate it when you flip it up.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You flip it up and you're like, all right, I'm going to send it this way.
And what I was saying is most of the abilities rotation doesn't act you could have rotation not actually matter, like just having two adjacent waters to a hose, or
Right.
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
the paws can be adjacent to each other.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I felt that was kind of what I was like, man, I want it to work like that. So I don't know if that means it's the right way or if it's just that's what my brain would want to see.
Nice.
But I think that would take away some AP, and I think it would
Mm-hmm.
um, make the decision of which one you sit down when maybe a little more interesting and a little less
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
Um, the only other thing is, and you've probably worked on this a bunch of times and just decided it doesn't matter, is my guess. But the number of hexes that is adjacent to a different number of other players at a given place along their path is different for there's two sets of two different ways that it works.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of the pairs has more likelihood that other players will play near their spawn point, and the other set of players is less likely that they will have other players play near their spawn point, because one has um, just one tile that is not adjacent to two other players,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other grouping has three tiles that is not adjacent to two other players.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And those spawn point placements do seem to be very relevant. So if only one player has access to it versus two players having access to it, as far as like adjacent to their own stuff, which I know you can place anywhere, so maybe it just doesn't matter. Like it might just not matter. But I definitely wondered about it, with the slightly asymmetrical nature of the
Hmm.
two different path styles.
Yeah.
You have got the same number of total hexes that are adjacent to one player or two players, but the way it's split up is very different, and I don't know how much that matters.
Hmm. Sure.
Um, Aside from that, I don't remember what I said the first time that I played this, whatever that was, a year and a half ago or whatever. Um, but I like the system. I like the basic conceit and flow of the game. The tower defense style thing, and the sending people down and messing with each other and stealing each other's points and moving stuff around. Um, that's it. Sasha,
All right.
you had another thing to say,
Um, what did I write down?
just based on how your face looked.
Oh, I just wanted to sort of echo that I I'm generally not a big thematic gamer, and I would actually echo what Evan was saying, that the sort of spiral aspect and in the dog yard didn't really connect for me. I think some of the like powers and how the things worked definitely worked, but it was more the sort of spiral, which I like the spiral because of the interaction with
Mm-hmm.
different lanes and sort of bumping people into different lanes. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of echo that because I also
Yeah.
felt that, especially with the initial sort of look. Um, uh, and the thing that I wrote, which I did sort of say, is uh, why rotated all waters to adjacent to hose. Bush is bump in the direction when hit, kind of thing. Um, but yeah, just as an idea to be able to remove the rotation matters, regardless of if you like, or if you go with the idea of having them reveal as people hit them. I think you could just have just remove the rotation mattering, and having like the bush is the only one where you have to make a decision that has to be made when it's hit. The other ones are just like you can have two waters adjacent to a hose, and like the fact that the waters have to be also adjacent to each other. I don't think, maybe balance wise it's necessary, but I don't think it's necessary, and I feel like it'd give me more strategic sort of wiggle room if I could just have them both adjacent to the hose. But yeah,
Not on the same side of the hex, but just touching in any side you're saying, right?
yeah, like both of the puddles have to be touching a hose, and
Hmm.
each hose can only have two puddles touching it.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Is there anything that you wanted us to cover or discuss or answer that we didn't really go over or run into in our play or feedback?
You already talked about the income of 4, which felt better. And I think there were round 2 and round 3 we had 3, but every other round we had 4, and that definitely felt better. Oh,
I
I know
liked
what I wanted to
less.
ask. In general, how much tension do you look for in a tower defense in general for protecting the home front? And in some tower defense games, there is no last level. It's kind of like Pac-Man. You just keep coming more and more and more until you get overwhelmed. And look, I made it to level 66. Can you beat that? But you can't win the game. You just survive till a certain point. So what do you as a player look for as far as do you want it to be a game where it can be solved and it can be won because you can somehow adequately keep up, or do you want it to be a game where it progressively gets more like a Forbidden Island, and the game is going to get you, and it's just a matter of who was the top dog when that happened?
Number one, the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for me, that's sort of a question of co-op versus competitive.
Mhm.
I think in a co-op game, it's more reasonable to see how long you can survive. In
Okay.
a competitive game, I want it to be like I got to this point,
Yeah.
whether it's a specific number of rounds, or first to this goal kind of thing. Um, Otherwise, I feel like it could feel like a slog.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see some solo modes that are that way too. Like, how far can you get?
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't find that particularly engaging as an in-game trigger or goal or
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'm sure there are ways to make it interesting, just like you can break any design rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then this other game comes out and it's a roll and move and it's amazing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody said it couldn't be done, but then they did. So I'm not saying that that's not a fine way to go, but that's definitely not my preference out of the gate.
Okay. And did you, last question, did you at any point feel the tension of, uh-oh, I better protect my home, better protect my front porch, or was that really not a factor or a decision in your thinking? It was more just a scramble for points.
I definitely felt it a little bit. The first round mattered more because you go up 1 point or down 1 point, so the detriment is as a percentage of what's happening much higher
Mm-hmm.
in the first round. So it matters a lot more in the first round because killing or like whatever you're doing to the invaders. I don't know if you're killing the mailman, but whatever's happening to the mailman is much more relevant for taking him out later in the game than whatever you're doing to the butterflies in the first round because it's one way this way and protecting your porch is much more important in the first section of the game because of that
Sure.
disparity of what the values are.
Yeah. Okay. And you, Sasha?
Um, yeah, it is interesting with the sort of rubber banding element. I definitely felt myself wondering, should I have just like tried to tank my score in the first turn? Um,
Mm.
like how much of advantage did I get from doing well in the first round? I ended up winning, so like maybe it was just good the way that I played the first round, or maybe the first round just doesn't really matter much, and it's all about like getting stuff on the board, and like positioning yourself in future rounds, and it's all about the last couple rounds. I would guess it's more the latter,
Mm-hmm.
but I that's where I felt the most sort of tension. I don't think I felt the tension as much in the beginning. It didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was like in a much better position after turn one, even though I didn't have things get in my porch. And then
Yeah.
towards the end of the game, I definitely made plays to make sure that things didn't
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
get on my
Sure.
porch. So yeah, I don't know. I felt
Okay.
good. I think later on.
Great.
Interesting.
Well, thanks, guys. This was a treat.
Yeah. So Matthew, after this playtest and everything we have discussed, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Flipping it on me. No,
What are
that's
your
great.
takeaways?
The economy is something I've been really working on nailing down. Not too much, not too little. Not, not to get those ebbs and flows, but to get it a little bit more smooth and stretched out. And definitely trying to cut down on the AP. And since having everyone place it face down definitely helped with that. But then, like we already discussed, I have you flip and resolve. Maybe we try a version with everything stays face down, or some clever take on that. I think will help to cut down the AP further, because definitely I'm looking to lower that just a little bit more. But I think it's in a pretty good place where it is. It plays, and I have fun with it, and um, definitely definitely got a lot of thoughts for expansions. New intruders, and
Oh yeah.
like like an ice cream truck or a mailman truck, and literally it travels around the inner loop of the game, and it's a token, and it telegraphs that you're gonna, oh, now it's my mailman turn, oh, and now it's his mailman turn.
Yeah.
So, I got some things, and I even thought of the middle being a rondelle and loading the monsters and then just spinning the rondelle and dropping it back down. Never got that quite working the way I was looking for it, but there's definitely something there perhaps. Yeah.
Uh, Eric Ledger in the comments says, yes, both options are good for me. I don't remember if that was in reference to the like shooting for how far you can get versus
I think so, yeah.
probably.
Yeah, the tension of the co-op, as you guys put it, or the tension of the
Yeah.
verses. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, anything else before
No,
we move on to saying goodnight?
I think it's that time.
All right. So, thanks everybody for joining us who was able to join us in the comments. Thank you, Sasha, for being the playtester tonight. Thank you for Matthew for bringing your game and letting me play it again after like a year and a half. Sasha, tell the kids at home how they can find and support what you've been working on.
Well, the thing that is linked in the comments is a Discord server for S&E Games, which is my buddy Eric and I. The game that we worked on the most last year was a game called Dovecote, and that's the one that's sort of the most along. And I still like it a lot. I'm figuring out exactly what I want to do with it, as far as who I'm pitching to and everything. But so yeah, if you're interested in following along with that. On a side note, Playtest PDX is a thing that I run for playtesting and game design meetups and game jams in the Portland area. So if you're in the area, definitely check that out. Also on Instagram, I did a game jam every day in January, and all of those are reels on the Playtest PDX Instagram. So if you want to check those out, I would appreciate it. Yeah.
That was dedication, man. That was dedication.
I have a bunch of good stuff from it. I'm excited.
Yeah, getting stuff down on paper sometimes is the most important part. Matthew, how can people find and support what you're working on?
Yeah, if you have any need for that opening of the night filler game, or if you have people that just happen to like cute little whale plushies, or are you looking for kind of that Sushi Go feel or vibe, then I would definitely say check out License to Krill, or maybe you're a punster. You just happen to like puns. I had one guy, he was reading through the manual, and he's like, "You do know you got like 63 puns in your manual." I hadn't counted, but he counted for me, so something like that. So yeah, if that's your cup of tea in the ocean, definitely check out License to Krill. Krillgame.com is the website, and it's got a video there and a little bit of an overview, and I'm thinking end of May. Now, I'm not committing to that date yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll be an end of May ordeal.
Nice. Cool. Awesome. I am Evan Halbert. You can find and purchase 63 copies of After the Empire and any other games that come out in the near future. I think the only one I know of that's coming out soon is Emily's game, Bah Humbug. Emily Willix is the designer of a game called Bah Humbug, and she invited 12 other designers to put a spin on her card deck that's in the game box, and I did a trick taker called The Giving Spirit. And so buy 14 copies of that because you'll need them for Christmas presents.
At
This
least 12
Christmas.
copies.
At least 12. I mean, obviously. And you can give one to every family member. And play Emily's game or play my game. And yeah, do that. That's it. Everybody else get the heck out of here. For those of you who showed up in the comments, thank you so much. Eric says, I love whale plushies almost as much as I love puns. So it sounds like
Nice.
you've got them hook, line, and
Match made
sinker.
in heaven there.
But good night, everybody. Thank you so much. We
Definitely.
are